Join me right now on Kumite TV is UFC middleweight / light heavyweight powerhouse, Eryk Anders. What's going on, Eryk?
Hey, nothing much, brother.
You're a former D1 baller, national champion with Alabama. Rob Gronkowski recently retired at the age of 30. What are your thoughts on that, and what does it mean for the sport when you got athletes retiring so young?
Well, I think the thing with Rob Gronkowski is, man, that dude, he's got all kinds of numbers. You know, he put up all kinds of numbers for a tight end, and I'm not even sure how many full seasons he played. So I think that, with him, he, just kind of realized that his body couldn't take it anymore. And, I think that he's made plenty of money to last him the rest of his life. And I'm sure he'll miss the game, but, man, he's got the account. His body's not happy. So, you can go out there and party like it seems like he likes to do and do all those other things, not have to worry about, sitting out a season or tearing this or tearing that. He can really live life to the fullest now.
Definitely, man. You got him on one side and you got Tom Brady, his teammate, on the other side. He's like 50 years old, still with his Super Bowls. How's he doing it, man?
With a lot of help from the NFL and the officials, I think. Every time someone breathes too hard on Tom Brady, it's a 15-yard penalty. So, they try to keep him healthy. Keep his jersey clean, and he's the face of the NFL right now. Kudos to him. He's working on that second hand with Super Bowl rings. So, man, not taking anything away from him, but I think the NFL has assisted him a little bit.
From one combat sports to another, your last appearance in the octagon was at UFC 231. You dropped a split decision. Thoughts on your performance?
Anytime you win or lose, there's always, more that you could have done and things that you could have done better. Elias went out there, he did his thing, implemented his game plan, got on his bike, and, outpointed his way to a decision, so kudos to him. And, not my style of fight, but, that's the fight I asked for. So, it is what it is. So, I've been up here working with Mark Montoya out here in Denver for, a little over a month now, getting ready for this next fight. And, we kind of went back to square one, started from scratch, and, I think now I'll really be able to utilize my athletic ability, be able to cut people off in the octagon, and, have more output, I think, is also another issue of mine. Instead of just waiting on the power shot and try to knock people out, kind of pepper them up a little bit to set up that power shot.
You broke your hand in that fight in the second round. You got like Anthony Pettis. He broke his hand. He basically quit on the stool. You went on and fought the rest of the fight. How much did that affect you?
Man, there's no quitting this dog, but at the same time, you break your hand. It's my left hand, which is my, where I try to land the most. The thing that I took away the most is, I failed to adapt to the situation. All right, you broke your hand, so you can't throw it with as much heat as you would. But, you got knees, kicks, elbows, the right hand. There's plenty of things that I could have done to finish the fight, takedowns, things like that. So, I really didn't adapt very well. I kept throwing the left hand, but, they just want a whole lot of pop on it. So, he was able to eat them. I still dropped him after it was broke, but, as the rounds got on, it just, it started to swell up, so it gets harder and harder to make a fist. So, I was kind of, punching him with my knuckles instead of the top of the fist. So, it is what it is. It's just one of those things you got to adapt on the fly, and I failed to do that, and it, led to a loss.
You have a few split decisions that didn't go your way. Many people believe you deserve those fights. Your record could be easily much better than it is right now. Does that ever run through your mind?
Not really, man. You just, take it on the chin, learn from it, and try not to make the same mistake twice, and, keep it moving. It is what it is. So, you can't rewrite history. So, it's already, the ink's already dried in the book. And so I'm just trying to keep it moving and make sure it doesn't happen again.
You've taken some short notice fights against some of the best guys in the world. At that moment in time, people respect the decision. They're like, he's one of the toughest guys out there. He'll fight anybody. But do you believe a lot of people forget about those decisions that you made, that when you took those short notice fights, they forget about that?
Man, this sport, I feel like much more than any other sport is what have you done for me lately kind of thing. So, at the time, I'm like, hell yeah, he's the man. He did this, he did that. But, at the end of the day, man, you got to win. So, short notice, full camp, whatever, man, you got to go out there, perform it, and get W's. Otherwise, it's, it is what it's whatever. So, winning fixes everything. So I think it's imperative that I go out there and get a victory here in a few weeks.
Okay, in a few weeks, you're going to step into the cage at UFC 236 versus Khalil Rountree. It's your first pay-per-view. You're positioned right before the two title fights. How does it feel to be in that slot?
Man, I think that, the fans are really going to enjoy. They really enjoy his fighting style, and they enjoy my fighting style. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of running around or anything like that. I think we're going to meet in the middle and get right to work. And, that's what fans like to see, man. They like to see people get knocked out. And it's either going to be him or me. And I'm fully confident in my ability to finish Khalil, as I'm sure he is with me. So, I think it'll be fun for the fans, and I know it'll be fun for me.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a barn burner. You guys are similar in many aspects, but what separates you from Rountree?
I think I'm more well-rounded. I can wrestle. I got jits. I don't think we're going to use a whole lot of that in this fight. He likes to stand and bang. I like to stand and bang. I think he's a little bit more fast twitch than I am, a little bit more explosive. But, I think the longer the fight goes on, the more it favors me. He's shown to have cardio issues and get tired in fights, in the past, So, I know that there will be a hell of a storm to weather at first, but, I'm fully confident in my ability to go out there and, every time I fight, I'm fighting for a bonus. So, there's no secret what I'm going to try and go out there and do.
You mentioned Factory X earlier. What exactly convinced you to go over there and work with that successful team out there?
Man, I think the only team that had more UFC wins than Factory X was AKA this past year, in 2018. And, I've been around Mark, met him in Belane when I fought Machida, and Anthony Smith was fighting Thiago Santos. I just been around him, connected with him through my manager, just really like the way he articulates things and, his coaching style. So, like I said, I came out here, started from scratch, back to square one, really utilizing my athletic ability, upping my fight IQ, as well as a variety, diversifying my strikes, and just overall game. So, I think it's a good move, and I think we're going to see a different Eric Anders come 13th.
How is it training in the Mile High City? You're up really high up there, man.
Yeah, that's another plus of being out here, man. The air is thin, so your cardio gets better. I definitely noticed, maybe not so much like my stamina increased, but my recovery, I recover a lot faster in between rounds. And so, I think that, with him having cardio issues and my cardio being on point, I think that's going to be the difference in the fight. I'm going to be able to use my cardio as a weapon, push the pace, be in his face, and, it'll be fun.
What exact differences do you see in yourself at 205 compared to 185?
Man, I can pretty much eat and do whatever I want, and I just try to keep my weight below 230, and, the weight cut's super easy. So, probably not as aesthetically pleasing, when I fight at 85, but, I'm not in a bodybuilding show or nothing like that. So I'm just going out here and, not really stressing about cutting weight. I felt good when I fought Thiago at 205. I feel like, we fought at a pretty good pace, especially on short notice. So, my body feels good. I think when I fight at 85, I put on a little too much weight after I cut weight. So, my body's used to walking around at this, but now I'm this, and now I'm that, and maybe just a little bit too heavy. So I think I'll be able to maximize my full athletic potential at 205.
You've lost your last two. Does the mentality change for you going into your next octagon appearance?
No, not at all. I'm go out there, like I said, I'm fighting for a bonus every time I go out there. It is what it is. It's the nature of the sport. There's a winner, there's a loser. There's only two people in there, so it's 50-50 chance that it could be you. So, I think it's all the little things to help, kind of up your chances of winning a fight. And I'm doing everything, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. But at the end of the day, man, we're out there fighting with a 4-ounce glove. So, you've seen guys that, like Gokhan Saki, for example. That dude has been through some wars, and, the kickboxing world gets touched one time by Roundtree, and that's it. So, I think this is also the hardest sport to bet on because the knockout is always looming, especially the higher up you go in weight classes. That's why the heavyweights there's only like Stipe has the record with like 4 title defenses. You look at everybody else, welterweight. How many times did GSP, defend the belt? How many times did John Jones defended the belt? The more the bigger the guy, obviously, the more power they pack. So, the knockout is always looming in MMA.
Yeah, definitely true. Last weekend, Wonder Boy got knocked out for the first time in his career by Anthony Pettis, and everybody didn't believe that was going to happen.
Yeah, myself included, man. And I think up until that point, it was going Wonder Boy's way until, he got hit. Like I said, the knockout is always looming in MMA.
In the co-main event on the same night, Kevin Gastelum is going to face Israel Adesanya for the middleweight interim title. What are your thoughts on interim titles?
Man, it's really a number one contender thing. You could throw the word interim on there, but I think that any true competitor, doesn't acknowledge that this is the belt. So they're just fighting for the number one contender spot. I think Israel's going to go out there and lay it on Kelvin Gastelum. I think that his range, he uses range really well. He understands distance, and he's so much bigger and longer than Calvin. So Calvin's got knockout power. I just don't think he's going to get close enough to be able to use it.
Another light heavyweight that's been in the news, he also moved up from middleweight, is your former opponent, Thiago Santos. He seems like he's next in line to face Jon Jones. What are his chances, do you believe, against Jones?
Man, he's a wild card, man. He throws a lot of, crazy stuff. He does the capoeira stuff. But I think that Jon Jones, he doesn't let anybody get started. As soon as they start to find the rhythm and the groove, he throws like a teep kick or one of those oblique kicks, and he just totally disrupts your timing. He's super long and athletic. He can wrestle, which I think is Thiago's, weak spot. He gets taken down pretty easy. Jon Jones got submissions. He can wrestle. He can strike. And he figures people out pretty quickly. So, once again, 4-ounce glove, knockout is always looming. But, man, we really haven't seen anybody get close to hitting Jon Jones, really, except for Gustafsson, in their first fight. And, Jon Jones was out partying and having a good time before the fight. So, I think now, he's a little bit more focused and, honing in on his craft. And I just think he's probably going to retire as, probably the greatest of all time.
Was Santos the most powerful guy you have faced?
Yeah, he certainly hit me the most. And that was a fun fight, man, to get in there and, just trade and go back and forth with him. So, yeah, he's definitely the most powerful, the most skilled. I can't think of anybody who's hit me harder. He's a well-rounded guy, man. He was able to get up every time I took him down. I thought that, his cardio would loom a little bit. I thought his cardio would, he had a lot more cardio than I thought, but, yeah, he's definitely the hardest guy to hit me.
If you were Santos' coach going into that fight against Jones, what would be the game plan you would implement for Santos? Would you say, just go in there, empty the gas tank first round, don't let Jon Jones figure you out?
Well, man, John Jones, you're certainly not going 5 rounds with him, so you might as well go out there, get what you can get. Hopefully, you clip him, and make it ugly. But John Jones, we've seen him make it ugly himself, so it's definitely a difficult puzzle to figure out. If it was me, I think I'd probably just go out there and try and put it to John Jones and not let him get started. But a lot easier said than done.
All right, one last thing before I let you go. Music and sports go together. What is on your playlist, for this camp? What is getting you hyped to get into this fight against Roundtree?
Man, I listen to everything, rap, house music. I'm really into the house music. I got house radio playing on my Pandora. I'm not really just a fan of the lyrics of modern hip hop. So I was out for a run one day, and I was like, man, I like the beat, but the lyrics suck. So why do I listen to music with lyrics? So I just kind of switch it up to some upbeat, put you in the mood, house music kind of stuff. No words, just a good beat, good vibe, and keep it moving.
Is there any DJs that you could recommend to your fans?
Man, what's my dog's name? Dead Mal 5, I think his name is, or Alessio. I think I just kind of put it on and play, and every now and then I'm like, man, I like that, and I'll look down, and it's usually the same few guys.
All right, man. April 13th, UFC 236 pay-per-view. Thank you for your time, Eric, and good luck to you, sir.
I appreciate you having me, brother.